Hey guys, it's Brad here with our fourth installment of our series on Infernoids, and this is going to be just why they are just such a strong deck. So, Infernoids can make any effect of theirs resolve if they really want to. If your opponent has major floodgates on the board, like let's say they have a skill drain, or a popular card in, like Cliff Forcer sends you to lose a turn, we don't happen to have one with us, but those cards definitely slow down the game, but with Infernoids you have a lot of removal, but with those effects negated, you can't really do much until you learn forcing your effects to resolve. So the most obvious play is if you have a Void Seer. Void Seer is going to make your monsters unaffected by your opponent's floodgates. This allows you to remove them and then continue to go off, which they probably won't have more than one floodgate on the field at any point, because there's, 6 out in the game right now: Vanities, Skill Drain, Lose a Turn. And then, if you have those, if you have the Void Seer, obvious play. Now I'm going to go into how you can force them to resolve in other situations. So let's say if your opponent has a lot of back row, floodgates included, and you need to clear it. This is going to require some Infernoids in your graveyard, of course, but just a quick play you can do is you can summon one of your level 7s or level 8s, it doesn't matter which, and then if you need to clear back row and you're able to summon a Deviatee, you're going to go ahead and summon your Deviatee. And if they're having their skill drain on the field, so your opponent has a skill drain right here.
And they can even have like Chain Break Through, throw a Veiler to the grave, so Chain Link 3 Veiler, Chain Link 2 Breakthrough. They have all of
this, and you're activating Deviatee's effect. And then, in response, you're going to need to activate the effect of Infernoid Moss, which will tribute
for cost
the Infernoid Deviatee, targeting any card in your opponent's graveyard. And now, as this resolves, with the new wording of, our new ruling of Lose a Turn and how Skill Drain works, this will make this card remove him, because it was cost. It won't resolve because Skill Drain's still in the field. Then, Infernoid Deviatee's effect will try to resolve, and since it is no longer face up on the field, it can actually destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. And now this will work through practically anything except for, let's say, Divine Wrath, Warning, and Blackhorn.
But Divine Wrath isn't something you need to worry about, really.
I mean, it's not very relevant.
That isn't relevant, yeah.
So this is just something that you need to be able to know how to do if you want to play Infernoids well. It makes the deck actually ignore, pretty much ignore back row. There's still those some cards that you can't deal with, like Warning. But if I'm able to just use 4 or 5 cards in my graveyard, banish, and I can use those to remove 4 cards your opponent has, that goes plus without actually having to need
use your
cards.
hand even, yeah.
So, there are also some other ways you can make effects resolve by actually using, like, Infernoid and Nuku just on itself. For this situation, we're going to need to pretend this is a Lose a Turn. It isn't actually a skill drain. If you summon an Infernoid and Nuku in attack, and you actually activate its effect to destroy all monsters, then this effect will try to turn it to defense on summon if it's a Lose a Turn. And then Infernoid and Nuku contribute itself to banish the Lose a Turn. He's no longer face up on the field, and they will now destroy all monsters. Just another way to dodge, and it helps remove problem monsters as well as the hefty Lose a Turn, which is pretty good at slowing down the deck. If you don't have as many Infernoids in the graveyard to do the Deviatee play, you can simply just summon a Paltrula, summon the Moss or Natondel, it can be either or, activate the effect, and chain to remove it.
And then Patrol will resolve in the graveyard, popping the...
So this is just one quick way to get out of any floodgates, really. Just make advantage when your opponent has lots of sets, if they have 4 set, and you just want to clear through it, because you can just summon it, and if they break through it, you can get rid of it, and you go +4 right here, it appears.
If it was a Deviatee.
If it was a Deviatee, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I picked up the wrong one.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is just not terribly hard of a concept, but it actually makes your Infernoid, like, skill level rise probably, like, tenfold, I'd say. there's just so many cool combos you can think of if you know how to get rid of your monsters from the field.
Sometimes you don't always have the resources to do a Deviate, but you a lot of the times you do have the resources to have a Black Rose or Exciton available to you.
Where are those? Oh, here they are. My bad. Yeah, you can also use these.
So it's still using him.
Black Rose.
So you can summon a Black Rose and activate its effect, chain his effect, throw it off the field.
Which is actually an entire field nuke instead of just back row. But
so that's a Black Rose that will pretty much always resolve.
Yeah, you can use these with Black Rose and Exciton very well. If you need to remove a problem card with like a Stell,
and you don't want to blow up the whole field, maybe or something.
Yeah, like if you have some like a mistake,
or you need, or you want to still deal damage, and you just need to remove that one floodgate.
Another good example, but yeah, making effects resolve is just something that makes this deck insane. And should we talk about the Cyberstein?
So in the OCG, Cyberstein, for all that you know, you can pay 5,000 life points for cost to special summon one fusion monster from your fusion deck, but now it's called the extra deck. This card's currently banned. I'm just making a prediction that it might come back this format. The card is balanced by the fact that you're paying 5,000 life points, and if they just Valor it, in theory, so any deck just plays this, you just activate the effect and they Valor you. You're just down 5,000 life points.
Or Breakthrough Seal or Skill Drain. Or
pretty much, there's a lot of effect negation.
There's so much that I think it can come back.
But in the OCG, it is back. But every Infernoid deck runs this guy at the maximum it's allowed to because Infernoids know this card's always going to resolve because they can force it to resolve. I don't know what that was.
Something just fell.
Anyway. Because they'll pay the 5,000, they'll chain whatever. You chain See It Moss, Tribute, and then you special the relevant monster. A lot of the times it's one of these two things. And so if Cyberstein does become legal in the next couple of days, first off, it's going to be fucking expensive as hell because it only has one printing. Second off, Infernoids are going to become extremely broken because you can summon Last Warrior from another planet, which destroys all other monsters, which would be balanced except for the fact that Infernoids have Void Seers.
They can vanish from the graveyard as well.
Or so they can keep themselves alive on the field, and your opponent just can't summon monsters, even flip or special.
They can set, though, so they can kind of...
Well, they can set, but yeah, they're going to lose. Especially against monster-heavy decks. If you're playing Necros, for instance, they lose.
They're done. Another way is...
Clifforts, they lose.
Yeah, they can't even set their Cliffort monsters.
Yeah, no, they can't. Naturiax, and if you're playing against a back row deck, you bring out this bad boy, which negates spells and traps by just sending one card from your deck to the graveyard and then banishing one. So it actually also fuels your Infernoid engine.
And on top of that, you don't have to banish Infernoids also just for him. You can just keep building up your Infernoid count, and although he is level 10, which is unfortunate, so if they do get rid of him, you're going to have a ton of Infernoids probably in your graveyard.
Well, yeah, he's going to be a hard guy to get rid of.
Almost impossible, I would say.
I mean, if you have one in
3,800,
he's 2,800.
I read that 3 rows.
With one Infernoid even to protect him, it's going to be very hard without spells or traps for your opponent to get rid of him. With pendulums and rituals being very prominent right now. So these are combos we've showed you for removal, pretty much. Our next combos we're going to show you are OTK combos, which. This deck, fun. Yeah, they're a lot more fun, and this deck also just has a shit ton of. We're going to show probably the more relevant and common ones that occur.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching.
And see you guys next episode.